Well, I wanted to give you guys an update on what I'm doing and my plans for Africa. I've been out here in Cape Town for the last 2 months, really just relaxing, not really doing much. This has been my view for the last 2 months. I've been staying at an Airbnb. Brenda and Gary, you guys have been wonderful hosts, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Anyway, we've been living in this cul-de-sac back here, which is kind of nice. Gets pretty quiet, even though we're pretty close to the city. So you get Robben Island out there, Lion's Head, Table Mountain. Just overall, just a spectacular view. We're actually living. I'm living in what was part of old District 6. And I believe all this at one point in time was all filled with residential, just little shanty towns prior to them getting pushed out. And in fact, you can still see that people are still living down here. I don't know if you can see it right before the construction here. You still got guys living in tents and crude little houses, which is pretty sad to see. It's a weird dichotomy of first and third world country here. It's very strange because you have a residential neighborhood like this right next to something like that, and it's very, very awkward to see. But overall, the city is absolutely gorgeous. I've loved every minute of my time here. So yeah, let me explain more about what I'm going to do. Planning my route through Africa has been somewhat of a challenge, and I'll talk about that later in the video. Essentially what it comes down to is the ability to gain access to visas and countries that'll let me get in with the carnet that I have. But yeah, I need about 12 visas, all of which I don't have yet, and I'm not too particularly concerned about them. I'll wait until I get into a couple other countries before I really start looking into them. But I wanted to see the rest of South Africa, so I'm still going to go up the west coast because my plan is to eventually end up in Morocco, so I can easily get into Spain and then start doing Europe that way. So as it stands now, I'll head east until I get to some place like Durban, and then I'll go north. Try to get into Swaziland and Lesotho if I can. If I can't, then that's fine as well. They're fairly small countries, so you could see them in a short amount of time. So I'm not too particularly concerned about that. After that, I'll go into Zimbabwe, maybe go up into Harare to see if I can start getting visas there. If not, then I'll just cut west, go up to Victoria Falls, and then go into Zambia, and then Namibia, and then once I'm back, so I'll essentially just go straight west after that, and then once I'm back on the west coast, then I'll just shoot straight up if I can. I think in Namibia is where I'm going to have to start really focusing on getting visas, because after that you have to have one to get into Angola and essentially the next 12 countries up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to slow down once I get there, and maybe even just try to get one or two if I can per country, and then slowly work up. I know that there's luckily the capital of the DRC is on the west coast, so I think I could hit that up for a couple more visas, and then just keep going up to Cameroon, all that stuff. So that's the plan right now. Again, it's to go end up in Morocco and then go through Spain. If anything changes, so be it. I don't really want it to. Worst case scenario, I can't get through any of the countries and I have to double back, and then I guess essentially just come back to Cape Town and then take a flight out to Europe and then start doing Europe that way. I'm really not going to feel satisfied if I have to do it that way. So I'll try to do everything that I can to keep going, keep going north. Yeah, it's going to be one hell of an adventure, I'm sure. So, well, yeah. So that's the plan. Let's go take a look at my equipment.
Well, the bike itself is holding up fairly well. While I've been here, I've just flushed out all the fluids and changed them. I've had the rear suspension adjusted because I'm just so concerned about the wear on the back tires. You know, I've just been going through so many rear tires due to the weight. So hopefully the adjustment helps out a little bit. And I still have the hide now that I put on there back in Chile that's still holding up. It's a really hard tire, so it should last quite a while. The problem here in South Africa is everybody rides on 19-inch rims, so getting 17-inch tires is proven fairly difficult, especially the ones that I've wanted. Sadly, I've been running out of time and distributors haven't been able to get what I've asked for, so I've had to settle with Pirelli MT60s. Not particularly fond of them. I've had them on before. You know, they're such soft tires that they wear through. Yeah, they handle fairly well. I'll give it that, but you know, the mileage that I have to put on these things, I know it's not going to last. Luckily, you know, it is a front tire, so it should last a little bit longer than if I had one on the rear. And you know, I'll try to find a replacement along the way. Aside from that, I put new brakes and a new chain on the bike. All were in fairly good condition still prior to me changing them. I just wanted to be safer than sorry. You know, so yeah, start fresh with new ones. I still have the old ones, so if I need to change them out, then you know, I still have a good pair as backup. Aside from that, everything's good. I will say that the frame for my panniers, these SW Motec frames, just have not held up well. Yeah, I've put a lot of weight on them, and you know, the conditions I've been going through have been pretty rough. But yeah, the bolting on them just has not held up. Also, they're starting to rust fairly good. The right side has been okay. It's specifically this left side. This bolt right here is actually useless. I just have it in there as a just to keep it in because all the weight is really just on the zip ties right here. But it's, you know, it's holding up good, and you know, I'm carrying 550 cord and a lot of zip ties, so any issues, just keep slapping them on, and that should help any problems that I have there. Yeah, and then this top loader as well for the top storage is also a pain in the butt here. It's just so poorly made, I think. Plus the screws that they gave me are really bad. They're too big for the holes that were drilled. So I couldn't even get the back two in properly. Plus the front two have just completely dropped out altogether, and it started causing a rattling in South Africa or South America. So my solution was just to put some duct tape on there, you know, and actually that might have been the better option here, because now I have no more shaking and it seems a lot more stable. And this bolt right here is also snapped off, but I've wedged a couple pieces of duct tape in there to make it more stable. And now it seems like it's in better condition than when I actually started. So hopefully that holds up, you know, and I have the extra supplies if I need to use it, you know, to do any repairs. I'm not really taking anything extra. I really do need that extra tire, I think, and I'll probably get a gas canister somewhere along the way. But yeah, aside from that, it's holding up well, and yeah, I look forward to seeing to what it could take through the rest of Africa.
In terms of gear, pretty much everything is still the same. You know, it's all the equipment that I had prior to going. You know, it's all the same stuff that I used in South Africa. The only extra stuff I've really picked up are I bought two extra shirts, just because the old ones I've just been sweating so much and they kind of got a little smelly. So change those ones out. I have a backpack now, and that's only because I had to buy something for the flight from Argentina to here. And aside from that, I don't really plan on getting anything else. You know, time will tell. Well, no, I guess I'll pick up a gas canister along the way. I do have the two 1 liter reserves, but I feel like I'm going to come across a couple situations where I just won't want to stop, or may not feel safe enough to stop, or you know, or there's just not a gas station around. So, you know, I'll pick up a smaller little gas can and mount that somewhere on the bike. And aside from that, yeah, we're good to go. I have all the documentation as far as I know. I have my carnet, which is the biggest racket on the face of the planet. I chose to go on the west side of Africa because of this thing. So what it is it's a document that allows you to take a vehicle into each country that requires it. It's essentially saying that, you know, you've paid like what is like an insurance policy, because if you end up leaving your vehicle in that country, then you've already paid that country, you know, to be able to do that. And at the end of your trip, you're able to get, I think, about 80% of the money that you get back. So, which is good. Yeah, so going up the West Coast made it a lot cheaper. I think Benin was the most expensive country that I had to pay for. I would love to have gone up to Egypt, but it just didn't seem to make sense to me because Egypt, I think, is one of the most expensive ones in all the world to possess a carnet. And my bike, due to the value of my bike, it probably would have cost like $10,000 for this little piece of paper, which I don't really understand either, because for as expensive as it is, this is just regular paper. I mean, it got destroyed. Actually, in fact, let me show you the other one. So when I first got here and I got my carnet, and I went to go pick up my bike from customs, and as it was getting pulled out, you know, I had to take apart a couple things for the shipment on the bike. So I was putting them back, and what I had done is I had my passport and my carnet, and I put it down over by my bike. And what happened was and I kept asking the people if this was like you know, please show me the place where I can go install all my stuff on my bike, you know, to get out of the way of everybody else. And so that we switched places 3 times. I was like, sure, you know, this is gonna be good. And they assured me that we'd be okay. So I put these 2 down, literally like that, and a forklift came over and it just shredded my documents. Luckily, the passport, you know, has a better material. Still pretty messed up now, so I hope I don't have any issues with that. I really don't see there being any, but the carnet, on the other hand, since it's just regular paper, yeah, it just got completely destroyed, so I had to request another one and have them expedite it to me. The documentation for getting into South Africa from the customs it's okay. Hopefully they won't say something when I exit the country. But if you're interested and need to know more about the carnet, I guess just contact me and I'll tell you more about it. But this is it. I really just wish it was in better condition, because or made of better quality, because you don't know the conditions that you're going to be going through, and this is just so easy to get destroyed. But aside from that, yeah, I don't really think there's going to be much else. I sent back my Nikon D90, Nikon 5500, because it was so bulky and it weighed so much. And in fact, I never used it. I tried to use it, I think, at the beginning of the trip, but the GoPro and my Google Pixel just were turning out better pictures. Well, maybe not better pictures, but we're more accessible to take pictures. So it's good to have, and it filled up a lot of space in my containers. So I sent that back, and that'll free me up more space. Yeah, so if I need to buy something else, then I'll have that room, and if not, then my bike will be a lot lighter. Well, that's pretty much it for my update. I look forward to getting back on the road after 2 months of just relaxing. Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I think a little bit more excited to go up through Africa. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously I'll keep you guys posted. If you have any comments, questions, anything, suggestions, let me know, and I'll respond accordingly. Other than that, just keep enjoying my videos. All right, bye.